It's Sunday always. Sorry we're a bit late, but we have an amazing show today, and we have an amazing team of guests with an amazing topic. Our topic today is innovation startups in Rwanda and the policies that are set up for the youth in the next 7 years. We have policymakers and we have young innovators. We have startups on the board tonight as a guest. We will have a very amazing show, and welcome to the show. Let's have a break and we'll be back with the guests. Thank you so much. Frank is always yours. Thank you so much for being our fan and being our partner. It's amazing that we have you watching this, and we encourage you to be part of the discussion. Facebook is also online now. It's live. You can give your ideas on Facebook, TV1 Facebook account, and we will engage you and we will keep discussing together. So now let's have our guests being part of the show, and let's kick start. We have on my side Miss Yasip Kazmir, the first runner-up of 2019 Miss Rwanda. You can say hi to the public and just mention your names and all that.
Yes, as he said, I'm Yasip Kazmir Uihirbe, first runner-up Miss Rwanda 2019, and I'm honored to be part of this panel session today.
Thank you so much. We have, she's also here as a younger tech innovator. She's been having different tech initiatives. And then we have a representative from Ministry of Youth, and he's Benoit. You can mention more names and all that.
Thank you. As you mentioned, my name is Benoit Ngawanziza. I'm the Director of Youth Economic Empowerment at the Ministry of Youth.
So it's our joy to host you here today. And we have my friend here, Josephine. Yes, Josephine is the Government Chief Information Officer. You can mention the rest of the things. Huh?
Thank you, Frank, and thanks for the invitation. I'm Josephine Ndeimana. I work with the Rwanda Information Society Authority, and we are pleased to be part of this discussion. Thank you. Thank
you so much. We have my friend Shikama, and he's doing a lot of things. Part of them, he's the head of ICT in agribusiness, but also he runs a couple of his own startups. You can mention key of them.
Okay, thank you very much, Frank. My name is Dioscoro Shikama. I'm CEO and founder of Tigor Limited. It's a startup which is focusing in agriculture. We try to help farmers to increase productivity and also profitability.
Yes.
Besides that, I'm head of ICT for agriculture at the Rwanda Youth and Business Forum, which is an initiative bringing together all young people involved in agriculture from carbon production into the ICT forum.
Yes. It's my joy to host such a great team. And you are all in the right position to discuss on our topic tonight. And I'm glad that we have entrepreneurs and we have policymakers and we have public figures. It will be a joy discussing together this topic. Now, Rwanda's innovation is not yet getting the level of global recognition and support it truly deserves. The content is brimming with a rising new generation of bold, creative thinking innovators and entrepreneurs who are constantly inventing and developing new technologies that will simplify Rwanda's and Africa's sectors. They deserve a closer look, and we appreciate the available political will and platforms and infrastructure set up by the government of Rwanda. But now the question is, huge innovation achieved yet, and mostly by the locals. Now my problem is these innovators much more known. Locals know these, innovations, and I want to ask this question to the Benoit youth. What are some of the successful innovations we have, technologies we have that the youth is proud of? They are owned by the locals and mostly the young. Can we have some of the, put on the spot for the public to know?
Thank you, Frank, for the question. Of course, we all convinced that there are innovations out here, but some we are aware of them, some we not. That's why you say like sometimes you find like a foreigner coming and investing in one of innovation while people around didn't notice that this exists.
That's true.
So as the Minister of Youth, of course, we focus on young. There are innovation that we come to through our programs, but there are also some other innovation that young people struggle themselves through their own channels and become like famous at the end. So what we have at the ministry, we do promote innovation through the program that we call Youth Connect.
Youth Connect.
Yeah, mainly Youth Connect. It has many components, 7 components, but one of the components that target innovations is Youth Connect Award. And this award is targeting young people with innovation, but also that can create employment. So we've started this since 2012, and from then 622 innovators, young innovators, were part of the program that we train them. There's a boot camp, but we award 22.
How many of them were awarded finally?
210 awarded.
Wonderful.
So, and this award, like, it's not giving them like a trophy. It's just money in their innovation.
Put into that.
In what we do, like the list is 500,000, and their maximum was like 5 million, but plus other additional awards from partners. So the tremendous job that we can be proud of is that through this program, that 8,000 jobs have been created through.
Really? 8,000
through
jobs?
Those are permanent jobs. Some are also temporary jobs, but we consider numbers that
jobs.
all these innovators created jobs. We did this impact assessment last year.
You mentioned 8,000, right?
Yeah, 222. I have numbers in my mind.
Really?
Yeah.
Many young innovators.
These young innovators,
Locally.
so locally. So we're proud of this. And
Cool. Can I ask you this, because of the time? Can you mention like 3? It's a promotion for them. 3 that you're really proud of. Say, we know this XYZ, they are good.
I wish you could give me like to mention all of them, because now this is a chain they get. But let me mention that I can
Big
remember.
ones that have created more jobs.
So we have one of our young people who has a business in Northern Province. It's called Theodore Nzawanima. This guy is in culture tourism. He has a project, it's a business that called Beyond Gorilla Experience. Because most of tourists come there for gorillas. But what he did, like, apart from gorilla, what can also attract these tourists?
What's his business model?
His business model, I think you will invite him again to come and like explain more about his business. But what he does is he make them tour and see what the culture in the villages, and show them like,
So
yeah.
what's the other one?
The other one is there's also another guy here in Kigali. Let me just come back here, called Habiyaremye Jean Marie Vianney, who owns like Cow Horns Rwanda Limited. It's famous as well.
The #1 during the business excellence.
Yeah, so that guy also he was part of our programs as well. We awarded him, and he's doing also this good job. So, can I continue with
The third one.
the third? Let me come now to a cooperative.
Yes.
And this cooperative, one of the recent young innovators, is called Urungano Cooperative Karenge. So for them, they use maize and banana leaves, and produce some different. It's a startup, but they're also doing an amazing job using like agriculture product that some people don't consider relevant.
All right.
But for them, they're making.
All right. I will go to Shikama, who is a bit an expert into the local startups. Shikama, for you as a gentleman who has been into this for quite long, into tech, into agriculture, into all that, what is the biggest challenge that you face when you are working with young people? What are the challenges that you face? And how do you overcome them?
Okay.
What are the challenges that you face? And how do you overcome them?
So,
give us a big picture of what is the real startup nature in Rwanda. And don't be biased and just say it the way it is.
Well, startup has a growth.
Mostly tech.
Yes, my contribution is, of course, around technology and startup all over the world. They face the same structure because you are there to solve a problem. So when solving a problem, and more likely no one understands what you are trying to solve. So you have limited means, and sometimes the policies are not accommodating your solution.
Yes.
So when it comes to Rwanda, most of the startup, the challenge is more human resource, human capital, because we have amazing entrepreneurs who identify the problem, but you have technology is about human resource. This is the basic fundamental investment.
That's true.
And the knowledge-based economy that the countries are willing to build is really high capital intensive. Like if you really want to hire someone, you have to have resources to invest. And another problem is our local rich people, like let me say that, because
The potential investors.
yes, the potential investors. All over the world, for the startup to kick off, you need money, finances. And most of the time, those are angel investors who come at earlier stage without thinking, okay, this is the time investments come
Without
this time.
expecting the return investment in the
Yes.
next 2 months.
Yes, next
When it takes 10 years, they will be
at
waiting.
least 5 years and above. And our people here, they don't understand that.
They are
So
traders. They want their money back next month.
immediately, they need a transaction. And the problem with innovation, either myself as a startup owner, I don't know if it will work actually.
That's true.
So I'm betting on that. It may work or may not, but I need some money in capital. That's what we call, like I need money to buy. So
That's true.
that's
You
the
need
problem.
money to buy.
Yeah, I have to buy the money so that whatever I'm thinking, it will work or not. So the startup in Rwanda, we have those two challenges.
So you need a risk partner.
Yeah, risk partners and also human capital. At least now, something which is good, which is happening is ecosystem. So we now have Andela coming, we have Ekanegi Meroni, we have ADU, we have K-Lab, we have Fab Lab. So this is creating the ecosystem. So between, like, they can be easily, they share the knowledge. I can ask my colleague, I have this and that, can you help me with that? But we need another part of ecosystem of investors. The local people who are now willing to put their money and money to burn, obviously.
Do you think they have money and they want to give it, or they don't even have it? Do you think we have an ecosystem of rich guys who, if they understand the whole mindset of the thing, they can give the money, or we even have a poor ecosystem?
Obviously, the one is moving. But you can't tell people don't have money. People have money. And
So what's the problem with the Indian
the problem, I
investors
think,
abroad?
is the whole things around the technology. I can't blame the local people themselves because you are about to invest visible, which is not tangible, which is you can't prove it is there. So someone will prefer to go to China and import TV or whatever, which is hardware, than investing in an idea which, of course, can be very multi-millionaire idea, but the understanding.
Well,
is
now
the
let's
problem.
leave the part of the investors, the angel investors, and all that. So let's come back to the side of the young innovators. Do you think they have scalable, viable, investable, bankable projects with exact business model that is presentable? Do you think also they at least have prototypes? Oh,
Yeah, when you go to the entrepreneurs themselves, so they have some assignments which are not fulfilled. Innovation, it requires patience also. You have to be passionate, you have to wait for long.
Yes.
And our people sometimes, they try 1 year, 2 years, and they go. Unfortunately, that's not fulfilling your assignment. Be there for 5 years. So whoever bringing money, he understands you have paid your loan. And secondly, as you said, the prototype also, some does have that, but the business model is not that proven. They
So
need to
who is
work
to
on
blame?
that.
RDB, the youth themselves, the Ministry of Education that doesn't raise that at the early stage in the education systems?
So
Who is to blame?
my thinking comes from the capitalist thinking. So it's about yourself.
It's
I
a
mean,
struggle.
I'm sorry that I'll go to the government brain. Initially, it has to come with you, and those who made it at global scene or even locally, it's not like RDB gave them the money. It's for themselves. And you are very likely to have many problems. So when you have many problems, it means you can create more solutions.
Yeah. But let me go to the Let me go to Josephine. Josephine, you've been part of the Ministry of ICT and Innovation. You've been part of such a great making institutions, and now you are into the government information. When one talks about ICT or innovation, digital innovation, one thinks of innovation as the USA Silicon Valley, and thinks it's not possible until there is Silicon Valley setup. It's not possible until there is investment available ready for you, and then you bring a solution, and then right away you get an investment. So not having successful digital solutions all around, digital startups, not becoming a startup nation like Israel, is it because you don't have Silicon Valley, or is it because you don't have Silicon Valley mindset into the young people of Rwanda?
Well,
So do we blame the government that has not set up the digital incubations and digital Silicon Valleys, or do we blame the young innovators who don't have the capacity that the Silicon Valley candidates have?
Well, thanks, Frank, for the question. Maybe to answer to your question, I would start with the list of successful startups or solutions that are there serving the people that we do recognize in the ICT sector.
Sure.
I'll start with the Tap and Go in Kigali.
Oh, yeah.
It's a really good solution that came into the transport in Rwanda. Yes, we've seen tremendous, though some challenges, but the solution itself proved that Rwandans youth in Rwanda are able to actually address some of the challenges of our community. So back to the question on talking about ICT or digital innovation, everyone thinks of Silicon Valley. I would say that has to change, because today when you talk about innovation in Rwanda, rather one thinks of K-Lab.
Yes.
Sure.
I believe Shikama would prove that this is true. Fab Lab. We have more other innovation hubs, incubation centers, though more focused in Kigali, but the thinking is to scale them up to cover the entire country. And to what is being done or not, I believe that this is a journey that we undertook like almost 19 years now, since the year 2000, when ICT was booming in, being in Rwanda. So it's not late compared to where we're coming from, but I would say it requires ownership from both the innovators, the policymakers, but also and most of the system.
Sure.
So like the entrepreneur himself says, it starts with you. So if I believe I'm an entrepreneur and I'm thinking to improve my knowledge by creating a solution or an innovation that is addressing a problem in my community or across the globe, yeah, that's me. No one else will come to do it for me. So I have to work on it. Yes, I need an enabling environment. I need support when I need maybe advice. I need, like he said, investment. Without your attitude, without your patience, without your, I would say, perseverance, it's really hard to make it a reality.
I like that. Now we'll get back to you, and then Miss Kazmila. I know I've been part of much of your projects going on, and some of them were tech and very disruptive innovations. So talk as a young innovator who started this back in high school. What are few of the innovations that you're proud of, you thought of, and you put them to the public and they were appreciated? And what were the challenges and you faced that maybe made you not being an innovator with a solution already serving the public?
One of the innovations I tried to work on back in my high school and
The
which
tech ones.
yeah, tech ones,
Yeah.
and which were highly appreciated, was a mobile application I was developing to work on the problem of unemployment. The way it could be working was to bring together people with ideas to those who are already having experience in business, where they can be linked or connected to those who are having investments so that they can be invested in their ideas to create like actions or to be put into practical. And so far that idea of mine won the best innovative idea, which was starting up Yes Awards, the second edition. That's how far it has gone. And the other project or the other innovation which I was bringing up was an agriculture robot in the system of vertical farming system. Vertical farming system is a system which was trying to solve the problem of shortage of land,
Oh yeah.
specifically here in Rwanda.
So you can grow crops in the house, vertical under that.
Yes, like putting a layer on the top of the other one. So like these two both projects are the main projects which I can maybe say like they've taken me from one step to the other, because out of vertical farming system it have been launched into two different international summits, Africa Tech Summit and All African Students and Youth Summit. So the challenges within these is that
Yeah, why are they not really serving the community?
exactly. So
Yes.
the
Is it
reason
because
why
of your raw perseverance and resilience? Is it low capacity of knowledge on how to kick them to the next level? Is it funding issue? Is it policies that are not allowing you to run them with underage? What's the problem?
the main challenges for these two main platforms were like a deep research to what people really need, or how can it be to the extent where it is more needed. Because you can find that if it is helped because it's technology and it is being if it's a mobile application, it
Yes.
needs to be accessible with people who already have smartphones. That's one of the things. And what I was trying to work on was that for those who cannot access the mobile phone, they be helped, because that's the high percentage of people we are still
Now we can say that the problem is
access to technology.
access to what
Yeah.
do you mean?
Like access to technology.
Penetration to the market, like bringing the market to access the technology. What's the problem now?
So the main problem is how can people get to access the whole platforms?
So what's the problem
If I
now?
may,
Yes.
maybe
Yes.
chip in. What she's saying is that penetration. For
Uh-huh.
instance, how many people have access to smartphones or phones? How many people have access to internet? Or
Yes.
how many people are actually able to interact with technology,
But the
digitally
government
literate?
says that one of the few achievements the government has done is that we have mobile phone and data coverage, which is 96%.
True.
So that means that market is enough to access the
No.
technology.
There's a clarification also to be given. The coverage of 96% is like the wireless broadband available.
How about cell phones?
Phone penetration is around 86. So that means we are counting both feature phones and smartphones.
But that coverage is good, both sides.
It's good, but in terms of ability now to use the telephone.
Okay.
So the telephone is not just for calling and receiving call or SMS. What else can you use it for? Am I able to navigate the internet? Do I really know how to actually do it? So that's the digital literacy I'm trying to refer to, which is still also at a really, I would say, not good level,
Okay,
like
cool.
at
Who
under
is to
10.
blame? These are citizens. They are not in the schools.
Yes.
Who is to blame?
So I really want not to go with the blame word.
Who is in charge?
So,
Let's change the
and
technology.
as I
Who is in charge?
And as I was saying, it's a journey. So in 2016, we started what we call Intore mu Ikoranabuhanga, the Digital Ambassadors Program, where in partnership with the youth, that back then was the Ministry of Youth and ICT, we're using, leveraging on the youth that are completing their secondary school studies, their local community in basic digital literacy So that's where we are leveraging on that, I would say, huge capacity and I would say enthusiasm in the youth within the communities to be able to train their parents, their neighbors on how to use actually a smartphone, how to access internet, how to go to Facebook, how you can post your harvest and really market what you're doing. And so far, it's not yet scaled at the national level, but we're seeing a really good impact and benefits. So it's a journey that we have started, but yes, it continues.
I agree. So you are not, you don't want to hear something like who is to blame. So now, Miss,
Yes.
actually we are winding up. Now, tell me, what kind of, advocacy would you need as a support towards achieving your tech innovations?
One of the advocacy I can maybe be looking for, where I can maybe hit it straight right now, is like deep fundings, either financially or in advices. Because where I am at, I cannot mean that I have a lot of experience to think into agriculture or unemployment rates to where people are, or why aren't people really in business, you know?
So if you can access intensive capacity building and intensive funding, you can click this, you can skyrocket this, right?
Exactly.
So you need both of the two.
Sure.
Now, Benoit, from the Ministry of Youth perspective, you are proud that few innovations have been done and all that. So what is one challenge that you see agree we have as you know in our ecosystem of Rwanda that you know we are working on it? So it's a challenge. Youth should be aware of this, that we don't have this, and it's okay, we're working on it.
Okay, thank you. Maybe before I come to what the Ministry of Youth is doing, let me come back to the challenge that our young entrepreneurs or innovators are facing. One, sometimes depending on your passion, or depending on what you studied, you can think of bringing some new at the community without doing a deeper research. And you find that what you bring in sometimes can't work.
That's true.
Because you go on YouTube, you go on you search everything, you bring, okay, this being amazing and it's
Maybe
new here.
It works in America.
Yeah, and you say
And you
that's,
think
wow.
it'll work in Rwanda.
Yeah, it can work. And then when you come, you do your maybe prototype or whatever, finally you find that there is no, we don't have smartphones, for example.
That's true.
And to make it work, you're not going to buy a smartphone for all people in the system. Yeah. So what you have to do is, like, if you think of bringing something new at the community, I don't say an innovation, because when you say innovation or invention, itself means something else. For us, we accept creativity.
That's true.
Or we accept sometimes what you import, because it's new there, we agree it's innovation. But you all know that it's not an innovation, because it existed somewhere else.
That's true.
If it was new, as you say, you can sell it as even an intellectual property.
That's true.
But it's not new, it exists somewhere. So now what do you have to do?
The challenge is, there is a challenge where youth or young innovators are not able to study the market before they pitch out the project.
That's it.
What's another challenge?
The other challenge is for them, even those that to support, we find that it's going to address the community challenges or community problem. We accept to support them, but supporting them, she mentioned fund and capacity, but also there are also other items that they need, like they need mentors, they need access to market. So we don't have like strong incubations.
That's true. So we also
even in Caleb, I don't know, but Caleb we find that okay, there's people who were trained there, maybe they have some experience, But when you say in incubation, should start from infrastructure. I mean, like the incubation itself, infrastructure. If it's a tech incubation, internet, computers, and all that. Two, having like people who understand, who are there to help you.
But then I'm telling you this: what happens with the youth centers in every district? Can't you, bring such joint ventures?
So I will come back to what the Minister of Youth is going to do, but I was trying to come to explain the challenge. Yeah, straight incubation system that we have, they are not strong enough to.
They're not enough for the necessity.
I mean, strong enough. We have some that exists already, but they are not also that strong to assist from A to Z.
That's true.
And they are also few. And what the Minister of Youth is doing, we in partnership with all government institutions and the partners, is to establish strong incubation.
When can we wait for that?
It goes sector per sector. ICT, they tell you what they're doing. We are going to start in this March till May in an incubation for art and creative art.
That's good.
We know about at Rwanda, the competition that happened last year. So we want to incubate the winners. We'll also have one in agribusiness, using also centers as infrastructure, because incubation is a service.
That's true.
So we'll use the existing infrastructures or sometimes create new where we don't have them.
Okay, what is one thing you would love to mention that is set up for the youth in the next 7 years that maybe you would like to put on the spot before you go?
Of course, even this incubation center is in the 7 years to come, because we already in the 7 years. This the
Yes.
yeah. So entrepreneurship, we have the existing platforms and programs, but we have to strengthen them.
Yes.
And also to take advantage of regional integration or sometimes global opportunities. All it's refer on the government programs. So for us, what we do, we refer on every item and find something for our young people.
All right. We're catching up. We just have 4 minutes to go. Shikama, you will speak on behalf of the young innovators around and startups and SMEs. What is the message that you want to give to the young entrepreneurs, to the struggle, those guys who are hustling, the hustlers?
The thing is, the great things take time. So be patient and invest in time it requires, and do your homework. And for the government, I would say, has done a lot of things, and it's time to engage the public also to be part of the risk the government is taking. So I would suggest that governments try to engage rich people, we know them, to burn money, to invest in those SMEs and startup. Yeah, I think that will enable us to have a more competitive solution at the global stage. Yeah.
I love that. Now, any message goes to the young people, young innovators. Good news from your sector, from RISA and all that.
Thank you, Frank. Good news to the young people is we are trying our best to set up the ecosystem that will include all the missing components you mentioned, the incubators, the accelerators, but also engage the private sector.
Can you mention some of them?
Angel investor, you've heard of the Kigali Innovation City project.
When is it coming?
It's underway. So the CMU campus is already completed. So next is to move to the building, but also other potential higher learning institutions, but also big companies attracted to come and set up in Kigali so that to create more opportunities for the youth. But also from policies, how do we enable the environment, support the startups through competitions, hackathons, to put them on the spot so they can really learn from what they don't know, so they can really bridge the gaps.
Do you have few successful statistics and numbers you would love to bring on the spot, be it in the innovation, be it in the mobility, whatever, few successful statistics you would love maybe to bring on the spot?
Well, one would be we taking K-Lab to the 6 secondary cities by next financial year. So that's already something we are looking at on the talents in the secondary cities to create potential next big innovation in ICT. But also a message to the youth is whatever you're doing, what's the value add? Like was mentioned, most of the innovation creation exists elsewhere, but if we are able to add something different,
Yes.
specific maybe for Rwanda or Africa, it's very good. It's an added value.
All right,
So-
all right. We're coming to the end, Miss. One single message to the young girls who are, hesitating to jump into this tech movement.
What I can literally tell them is that we are moving in a world of technology. So anything they are thinking to bring on a spot, like an innovation, put there something of technology, because that's when to be having a lot of value to access to a big market of people, like customers.
I love that. Thank you so much. It was amazing having this team. It was amazing you watching us. We are very encouraged by your interest in this show. Thank you so much. See you next Sunday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Frank is your friend, and we always engage in such a good to make sure we bring light on this issue of innovation and startups and entrepreneurship. We're glad one is moving with an energy and vigor of President Kagame pushing forward. Let's do it.